out the gaze of alien eyes and made the transit from car to domicile entirely private. There was no opportunity here to disappear. The sidewalk and road were black with curious onlookers. He stepped from the car first and helped the lady out. He bore her heavy bouquet because she looked literally too frail to carry it further herself. In the doorway she was surrounded by a bevy of servants, foremost among whom her old nurse claimed the privilege of greeting her with tears and smiles and many "Miss Celia, my dears," and Gordon stood for the instant entranced, watching the sweet play of loving kindness in the face of the pale little bride. As soon as he could lay down those flowers inconspicuously he would be on the alert for a way of escape. It surely would be found through some back or side entrance of the house. But even as the thought came to him the old nurse stepped back to let the other servants greet the bride with stiff bows and embarrassed words of blessing, and he felt a hand laid heavily on his arm. He started as he turned, thinking instantly again of his commission, and expecting to see a policeman in uniform by his side, but it was only the old nurse, with tears of devotion still in her faded eyes. " Mr. George, you haven't forgotten me, have you? " she asked earnestly. " You usen't to like me very well, I mind, but you was awful for the teasin', and I was always for my Miss Celie. But bygones is bygones now, and I wish you well. You're a growed a man, and I know you must be worthy of her, or she'd never have consented to take ye. You've got a good wife and no mistake, and I know you'll be the happiest man alive. You won't hold it against me, Mr. George, that I used to tell your uncle on your masterful tricks, will ye? You mind I was only caring for my baby girl, and you were but a boy." She paused as if expecting an answer, and Gordon embarrassedly assured her that he would never think of holding so trifling a matter against her. He cast a look of reverent admiration and tenderness toward the beautiful girl who was smiling on her loyal subjects like a queen, roused from her sorrow to give joy to others, and even her old nurse was satisfied. " Ah, ye love her, Mr. George, don't ye? " the nurse questioned. " I don't wonder. Everybody what lays eyes on her loves her. She's that dear." Here the tears got the better of the good woman for an instant, and she forgot herself and pulled at the skirt of her new black dress, thinking it was an apron, and wishing to wipe her eyes. Then suddenly Gordon found his lips uttering strange words without his own apparent consent, as if his heart had suddenly taken things in hand and determined to do as it pleased without consulting his judgment. " Yes, I love her," he was saying, and to his amazement he found that the words were true. This discovery made matters still more complicated. " Then ye'll promise me something, Mr. George, won't ye? " said the nurse eagerly, her tears having their own way down her rosy, anxious face. " You'll promise me never to make her feel bad any more? She's cried a lot these last 3 months, and nobody knows but me. She could hide it from them all but her old nurse that has loved her so long. But she's been that sorrowful enough for a whole lifetime. Promise that you'll do all in your power to make her happy always." " I will do all in my power to make her happy," he said solemnly, as if he were uttering a vow, and wondered how short lived that power was to be. CHAPTER 5